how exactly can you stay calm when your avoidant partner is making you anxious? This seems like an impossible task. Well, it is possible, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, do you know that I have a new channel? I have a new channel. It's dedicated to relationships and love, designed for today. That's the name of the channel. Go ahead and check it out. I'll remind you again at the end of the video. But I know that's not what you're here for. You want to know how to stay calm when your partner's doing their little avoidant thing and you're like, I don't know what to do and I'm feeling a little crazy. I've been there before, believe me, because I tend to be more on the anxious side of things, or at least I used to be. And I've learned a lot along the way about how to soothe myself and how to deal with these things. I will not say that I'm perfect. I don't think any of us are. But there are some things that you can do. I think the first thing you got to do is remind yourself that, even if this is something that your partner's been doing for a while, they have this pattern of going off and it feels like they're avoiding you, and it can feel like a lot of things. It can feel like chaos. It can feel like your whole world is falling down around you. The relationship is over. I know all the thoughts that go through your head because I've had them myself. I think the first thing to do is try to stop all of that as soon as you can. As soon as you can. Remind yourself, this is not as big of a deal as I feel like it is. I know that it feels like it's a big deal. I get that, and that's important. But remember that it's not as big as it feels. You probably have an exaggerated sense of how important it really is. Now, I don't want to dismiss you. I am not going to dismiss you at all, because your feelings are important. And you do know if this is something that is a big deal. And it's important, if it's a big deal, to take it seriously. But if this is something that's been going on back and forth, and this just seems to be the way your partner is, but they're not like leaving you tomorrow or anything, or this isn't going to become like a month long, like because you've done this before, then remind yourself, it's not that big of a deal. It will pass. Everything will blow over. Maybe this is a new opportunity to experience this in a new way and try something different. Try to think about it in a positive, and don't get caught up so much in how it's the end of the world, because it's not the end of the world. And I will just say, in general, I think it's good advice to lean into the positive things in your life. Maybe when you're feeling down, when you're feeling like this thing is happening and, oh my God, it's happening again, take a minute, if you can, and appreciate the things that are going right around you. Appreciate the friendships that you have. Appreciate the things in your life that make you happy. Take a few moments and really do that. It's important, and it will help lift your mood a little bit and take it out of that fear-centered, thing that's going on. Okay, I think, in general, it's best if you can try to work preventatively here. If you're in the middle of this, I'll talk about that. But when these kinds of things happen, I think it's better to kind of prepare yourself and recognize, all right, this is the way my partner is. That's just how they handle things. And it does make me upset. So what am I going to do to not be upset the next time? Be proactive, in other words. It'll give you a sense of control over the situation. And although you can't control your partner, and I would never recommend that you try to control them and what they do, you can control the way you feel about things. I know that sounds a little weird. If I said that to myself 10 years ago, I would have been like, no, I can't. You're lying to me. But you can. And you can do that through being careful about the things that you think and being careful about the things that you do. So one thing I would say to do, or to change your way of thinking if you can, is to recognize that your partner is not everything in your life. This is why I said focus on your friends, focus on the things that make you happy. Play a video game, read a book, go for a walk, focus on hobbies that you like, do skills that you do. Maybe this is an opportunity to catch up on some work, whatever it is. There's other things in your life that are fulfilling. And I know a lot of us were maybe raised to believe that your partner should be like the number one spot in your life. And I think there's something beautiful about that. And there's something important about prioritizing your partner in some way. But that doesn't mean that your life falls apart when they're not around. Your life still continues on because you're an individual person, and that's why your partner likes you in the first place, is because you have this individuality and you have this own thing about you. That's why they're attracted to you. So don't lose that. Don't just give it up because you're going to make everything about them now. Nobody wants that kind of pressure, by the way. Nobody wants to have like everything put on them when it comes to a relationship. It's too much. And maybe this is one of the reasons your partner kind of goes off and avoids, because they need that space to kind of like recuperate and get back to their center and be who they are. So I would say just try to get yourself in the mindset as days go by, even when this is not a problem that's going on, that, you know, I love my partner and they're important to me, but I also love myself and I'm important to me, and I'm okay when they're not around. Just train yourself. It takes time. Practice telling yourself, you know, I'm good, I'm okay. I know they're not here, but I'm okay. They'll come back, I'm fine. Even if they don't come back, if it takes a while, I'm fine. It's important to tell yourself this because it's true. All right. And maybe just the thought came to me. You might be able to even remind yourself like, oh, I was in a relationship before and we broke up and here I am standing today because I'm fine. So something to think about. Use your memories in a positive way. But if you're in the middle of this and you're freaking out, you're like, oh my God, they're not returning my calls. They're not texting me back. I don't know where they are. I'm worried. All right. So first thing, breathe. Breathing is really important. I always tell people this, you know, your breath is related to your heartbeat and related to your sense of stress and everything. So if you can slow down your breathing, you slow down your heart, and then things don't seem so urgent. So just take slower breaths. That's all. Just relax. Don't like force it or anything. If you're forcing it, then it's not worth it because you're going to stress yourself out even more. But just relax and exhale. Let the breath out. Let the breath come out for a little while and then breathe back in. And that should give you some kind of sense of immediate relief. Maybe not perfect relief, but things should feel a little bit lighter after that. And then, you know, again, you can't control your partner. So I do think sometimes it's better to stop where you are and say, okay, I can't do anything about this right now. And just like, let that go. Let that go. You know, you can approach your partner and say, hey, you know, I miss you. I would like you to be around a little more. I understand that you need your space. Like, don't push them into anything. But maybe, you know, if it makes you feel better, let them know how you're feeling. But it's probably better to think about, okay, what am I going to do so that the next time that this comes around, I'll be okay? Or what kind of discussion can I have with my partner to understand this better at a time when they're more open to having that discussion? Don't do it right now. Don't do it in the middle of everything, because that's just going to most likely push them further away. But at a time when things are flowing, things feel relaxed, the relationship's going good, you know, don't drop a bomb on it and ruin the happy mood, but like slip things in here and there and be like, you know, hey, I really enjoy spending time with you. I wish that we could do this all the time. You know, I know you go off sometimes and you need your time alone, but I really enjoy this and I appreciate when you're here with me. Little things like that will sink in over time, and people will change their behavior because your partner does want to be with you and they do like to please you. And hearing that this is something that you enjoy, they will most likely want to do it for you. They may not always be able to, but think about how you can kind of like thread the needle in there and like weave a little hints here and there that, you know, I appreciate you, I like you, and I'm happy when you're around with me. But also go on the other side of things and be proactive about not needing them. You don't want to cling to your partner like a child clinging to their mom's leg or their father's leg, or, you know, you don't want to be that thing that's always nagging at them, always around them. Because I know you don't like that either. I know you don't. I know you say like, oh, I want to be so close in a relationship, but the truth is you wouldn't like somebody on top of you all the time either. So maybe that's something to remind yourself in this instance. And And I'm realizing as I'm saying this, there's a lot of opportunity here, or maybe I should say false opportunity, bad opportunity. I don't know what you call this, but there's a lot of spaces here where you can get down on yourself and tell yourself like, you're the reason for this happening, or like, I'm the reason why he's avoiding me. I'm the reason why she's avoiding me. I'm the worst partner in the world. If I were such a great partner, they wouldn't have to do this. No. Again, those are the kinds of things we want to stop before they start spiraling. Because once they start spiraling and we get on that train and we start going down that track, then it's very hard to stop that train. So stop it as soon as you can. And remind yourself, I'm a good person. I have a lot of good values. My partner's with me for a reason, because they like me, because I'm attractive, obviously. So it's not my fault that this is happening. And you might be like, but it is my fault because this is what happened yesterday. And I said this, and then he did this, and she did that, and it's my fault. Okay, but really, it's not anybody's fault. It just whatever happened. Your partner's dealing with it the way that they know how. And you're going to deal with this the way that you know how, or you're at least going to learn how to deal with this the way that you know how. And then eventually you're going to come together and figure this out together. And it's going to take practice and it's going to take time. But hopefully what I'm saying here is helping to calm you down, because in reality, I go back to what I said originally, this isn't as big as it seems. So hopefully some of that has given you some ideas to stop yourself from feeling so anxious, to get back to a place of feeling calm. Because although your partner may be avoidant, and this may be something that they do often, it doesn't have to disrupt your life, and it doesn't have to be any kind of huge impact on your relationship. So once again, if you like this topic of relationships and love, I have a new channel, Relationships and Love Design for Today. I'm specifically talking about these kinds of things right now on that channel. I'm going to be moving along as I go and feeling out different things, and hopefully you'll join that journey with me to learn yourself about how to look at love and relationships and how to design one that you like, that feels satisfying for you. Go ahead over there, subscribe please. And in the meantime, thank you for joining me here. I always appreciate you.